Well, the federal government says that they are planning to lease public lands for construction as part of their new housing strategy. The goal is to build nearly 4 million homes by 2031. The strategy depends on cooperation from provinces and territories, some of whom have already pushed back against the feds.
We are there to work hand in full respect with those provinces who want to solve the problem, and ask those provinces that don't want to solve the problem to just get out of the way.
The government's latest strategy also includes a program for homeowners to access low-interest loans for secondary suites. The Canadian Home Builders Association welcomed the plan, including an extension to the mortgage amortization limit for first-time home buyers. Well, while governments across Canada try to come up with the answer to the housing shortage, a township just south of Ottawa is trying out tiny homes. In a pilot project, the municipality of North Grenville will start building a small number of them for seniors. They hope that eventually it will lead to more of them being built. Joining me now from North Grenville is Mayor Nancy Peckford. So, Mayor, thanks for being here on Canada Tonight. What made you realize that tiny homes could be a solution here to the housing shortage in North Grenville?
Yeah, certainly. Well before the pandemic, in fact, it became fairly obvious in our community that there were significant pressures on the existing housing demand. And furthermore, there were a lot of seniors looking to downsize, that were no longer interested in staying in large homes. We have a lot of younger adults moving back into the community. They're interested in establishing themselves permanently. And we realized we didn't really have a significant rental stock here, and that with the price of housing escalating as it had, we had to look at other options.
So, you know, we typically associate housing shortages with big cities, but what's going on in more rural municipalities like North Grenville?
Yeah, so just like you introduced, we're a community, a high-growth community south of Ottawa, and the reality is we're both urban and rural. About a third of our population is in the town of Kemptville, 2/3 is in rural North Grenville, and as a consequence, we really want to be creative and innovative and support property owners who already have land and are interested in potentially building that secondary suite. Of course, in some cases, you can build them in your primary dwelling, but a lot of people are interested in that tiny home concept, so that we knew that if we made it a little bit easier in terms of simplifying the planning process and also presenting some options for tiny home builds, that we would likely be able to attract a lot of people to at least consider the option.
Okay, so how much is this? Like, how much is it going to cost, and how tiny are we talking about?
Well, a tiny home is typically 400 square feet or less. Currently, in partnership with the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville, we've actually already, 2 years ago, adopted some incentive programs to offset the costs of building a secondary suite, largely in your primary dwelling. But at the same time, through the support of the Housing Accelerator Fund and Minister Fraser, we have now the financial support to go out to market and secure 3 off-the-shelf, if you will, tiny home designs that we can provide to homeowners. You know, a lot of the decision-making in those early stages about whether or not you want to build a tiny home is really around design, what conforms to the building code, what is suitable within any particular municipality. So we really just want to make it easy and simple and give people some options.
Well, what else do you want to see from the federal government to deal with this housing crisis that we're really seeing right across the country?
Well, certainly what we know is we currently partnered with an organization called Shalom Homes. They're a local not-for-profit, and they're aggressively pursuing a pilot project where we've leased municipal land to them for $1, and they're going to build 4 tiny homes for low-income seniors. This is just the beginning of what we expect could be a surge of interest among not-for-profits and the private sector to build attainable, simple, tiny homes that you can have in the ground and occupied within a year. So what we know is that the more that we can partner with both the private sector and the not-for-profit sector, who in many instances are highly motivated to create new housing options, we can get it done. So the financial support of the Housing Accelerator Fund, the Ontario Build It Faster Fund, all of these financial partnerships that allow municipalities to expedite their own processes, to create those innovative partnerships with highly motivated community groups is really a win-win. It does allow us to build more housing, and not just in big cities, like you've said, but in smaller towns, because we're feeling the pressure like everyone else.
Mayor, we appreciate your time tonight. That is Nancy Peckford, the mayor of North Grenville, joining us tonight from that town.